A very interesting thing happens. When people say, what's your favorite project? My favorite project is always the project that I'm doing. That is, and I'm going to tell you a very interesting one that we are now doing down in Puerto Rico. It all started with one of the youngest $100 solution people, my grandson, Lawson. It was Thanksgiving, and Lawson and I were ruminating, as we often do, and he said, Grandpa, things in Puerto Rico aren't going very well, are they? He said, Hurricane Maria just came through there. There's a shortage of water, there's a shortage of electricity, lack of consistency. And I said, yes. He said, I would like to address that. I've waited long enough for my government to respond. It's time for me to do something. And for our grandfather to hear that, that's music to your ears. Okay, I said, what would you like to do? And Lawson is a good athlete, very good athlete. He said, I would like to help students my age, teenagers, he's 14, and I would like to help them in the area of sports. I said, tell me about this sports thing. He said, well, in Puerto Rico, baseball is very important. Baseball is more than a game. It's a way of life. So let's help with baseball. I said, that's noble. What are we going to do? So we found out through some students that I had in Puerto Rico that when Hurricane Maria came through, it devastated the fields, it devastated the equipment, it devastated. So they just simply couldn't participate. So Lawson decided that he was going to go ahead and address that. So how do you do that with a 14-year-old? He decided with some of my students to do a GoFundMe page. And he was able to come up with $1,000. It didn't take very long to figure out. With his $100, he was able to get it to $1,000 with the GoFundMe page, and that's what it's all about. He then says, I think I'll run it again, and he ended up with $2,000. He figured, oh, $2,000, still not enough. And he got very, very fortunate. In Louisville, Kentucky, is Louisville Slugger Bat Corporation. The corporation that manufactures all those famous bats. And they said, if there is a 14-year-old who wants to help a place in the world, and it's Puerto Rico, we're in. His goal was to help one baseball team, starting off with $100, parlayed it into money and equipment in excess of $19,000. Rather than doing one team, he did 5 teams in 1 year. Well, once the adults of the world found out about this 14-year-old, they said, we're in, we're going to help. And a committee was formed. And they began to work with the people of Puerto Rico. You can't do this on the outside. You have to do it with the people who are affected by it. And a committee was put together with the commissioner of baseball, with one of my students, and with a local sports good operator. They found for us a community in the south of Puerto Rico that was really affected by the hurricane, called Guanica. We are in contact with them. They have identified what their needs are. What baseball equipment do you need? We go to the community, we go to the team, an individual team, collect gently used equipment, new equipment, send it to Puerto Rico, or if we get money, we buy it in Puerto Rico. Doesn't make much sense to buy it here in continental United States and then take it to Puerto Rico. So we buy it there and keep that money within the economy. The baseball team is ready to go. They have the equipment. And we give them $100. And the players and the coaches must take that $100 and parlay it to help the communities in which they live. The name of the program is Play Ball Puerto Rico. So with Play Ball Puerto Rico, we're revitalizing the teams. In fact, we're now going to help redevelop the fields and the scoreboards and all of that, give them the equipment and let them play, and they in turn go ahead and take their $100 and solve a social problem. So after a hurricane hits, there are loads. There's no limit to the number of social problems. So it was determined that adjacent to the community is a national forest, a dry forest that was decimated. So the baseball teams and the community are going to reforest an entire forest, planting as many as 5,000 trees, all from $100, all from the dream of a 14-year-old who saw a problem, and rather than simply say, "Isn't that too bad? What about, let's do something about it?" And now we have a very large movement taking place to address that kind of issue, all for $100.